Flying business class on a long-haul flight means a seat that converts into a flat bed and restaurant-style dining in the air, as well as a much nicer experience on the ground. If you ever wanted to experience that without breaking the bank, then this video is for you, because today we're going to discuss the insanely generous promotion that is running on the British Airways Premium Plus credit card from American Express, where you can back over 60,000 Avios in addition to a companion voucher. And those two things just happen to be the perfect combination that you need to book heavily discounted business class flights. In this video, we'll cover everything that you need to know before going for this promotion. Also, to give you some inspiration, we're going to pick a specific long-haul destination and we're going to compare how much a business class ticket to that destination costs if paying cash versus booking it using Avios and a companion voucher. Finally, I'll walk you through how to apply for this promotion, because if you just go to American Express website directly, for some reason you cannot see it. So let's cover the basics first. British Airways Premium Plus credit card is a card that gives you 1.5 Avios per every pound you spend on it on any purchases, and also if you spend £10,000 or more in one membership year, you'll receive something that is known as a companion voucher. Companion voucher firstly gives you a 50% reduction on the number of Avios that you have to pay for pretty much any reward booking for up to 2 people, and also it opens up additional Avios availability in Club World that is not available to people who are booking without the voucher. The card costs £250 per year, and in my opinion the companion voucher alone justifies this fee, but only assuming that you are actually interested in booking long-haul flights in premium cabins using Avios, which, well, personally I am. But in addition to everything that I've said, currently there is a promotion, and if you apply to this card before October 10th, you are going to have a chance to receive a welcome bonus of 60,000 Avios, which I think makes getting this card a complete no-brainer, assuming that you're eligible for the welcome bonus, and we will get to that next. So what are the caveats to be aware of when it comes to this promotion? First of all, you'll only be eligible for a welcome bonus if you haven't held an Avios earning credit card from American Express in the past 2 years. So for example, if you've had the gold card or the platinum card or one of the cashback cards from Amex, then you are completely and totally fine. I'm highlighting this because a lot of the times people get confused and they think that they won't get the welcome bonus if they held any Amex card in the past 2 years. But with British Airways Premium Plus, that is not the case. You'll only be ineligible if you have had either the British Airways Premium Plus itself or the free version of it called British Airways Credit Card from American Express that also earns Avios. Then you won't get the bonus, but if you have had any other Amex card, then you are completely fine. Secondly, to get this bonus, you will need to spend 5,000 Avios in the first 3 months with the card. That is quite a steep requirement, but you can sort of get around it with a bit of planning. For example, if you have big purchases coming up in the future, you could look into bringing them forward. But obviously, again, only spend the money that you are planning to spend anyway, because this promotion isn't really worth spending money just for the sake of it, just to trigger the welcome bonus. So if you do meet this threshold of 5,000 Avios in the first 3 months, you're going to get a welcome bonus of 60,000 Avios. But you'll actually end up having more Avios because, well, as per our example, you'll also be earning the companion voucher, which means you will have spent at least £10,000 in the first 12 months with the card. And as I said before, this card earns you 1.5 Avios per pound spent, which means that for the £10,000 spent, that would have earned you 15,000 Avios. In combination with the welcome bonus, that gives you a total of 75,000 Avios that you can earn with British Airways Premium Plus credit card within 1 year. And again, you'll also get a companion voucher, but we'll put that aside just for a second. So 75,000 Avios exchanged into Nectar points are worth almost £500 to spend at one of the Nectar partners, such as Sainsbury's, Argos, eBay, or Eurostar. That might seem like a really good deal, but I'm only actually referencing it here to sort of set a baseline value that we need to beat, and so that you know that in the worst case scenario, you can use this stash of Avios to exchange it for sort of credit at Nectar partners of almost £500. But again, in my opinion, the true value of this card and the companion voucher lies in booking business class flights with British Airways using Avios, and that's what we're going to cover shortly. My final point before we get into specific examples will be around the annual fee. So as I mentioned, there is an annual fee of £250, and starting from October, Amex is going to stop giving out prorated refunds if you cancel the card. What that means is that if you take out this card, you spend a bunch of money on it to trigger the welcome bonus, you bag yourself those 60,000 Avios, and then you decide to cancel the card, you are not going to get any refund for the first year, which means if you're signing up for this card, you are committing to it for at least 1 year. I did make a detailed video about this policy change around refunds from Amex, and I'm going to link to it down below in the description so that you can check it out later. So now let's look at a specific example of a destination and explore the cash price for a business class flight there and compare it to booking a business class flight using Avios and a companion voucher. We're going to take the London to New York route because the cash prices for business class tickets there are, well, I'm going to say reasonable due to the fact that a lot of airlines fly there, making it so that there is a lot of competition and availability. So if I search for London to New York flights in business class return on Google Flights, the cheapest price that I can find in the next 12 months is a little bit over £1,600. Yes, it is a lot higher than what you used to be able to get before COVID, but in the current reality with the current prices, I'm going to say that that is a reasonable level. But how does that price compare to booking the same route of London to New York return with British Airways using Avios and your companion voucher? Let's go to ba.com to find out. Here you choose book with Avios. So we're flying from London to New York, flying out on May 1st and coming back on May 8th, because these are the same days where we have the cheapest cash tickets with Virgin, and we'll also pick Club World, which is BA's business class. So luckily there is availability on the dates that we need. New York generally does have a good Avios availability. So all the figures that you'll see from now on don't include the Avios savings that you get by using a companion voucher, because I currently don't have one in my account, but we'll basically divide all the Avios amounts by 2. So as you can see, by default, we're being offered the option of paying 80,000 Avios. So I divided 160 by 2, because if you're using a companion voucher, you're going to get a 50% discount. So 80,000 Avios plus £350 in cash per person for the return flight. And actually this price will stay the same if you're flying out of any other UK city with a connection in London, as opposed to flying direct from London, which is very useful if you live elsewhere in the UK. Basically, we're choosing between a full cash price of £1,665 with Virgin versus £350 with BA, which means you are saving £1,315 by paying 80,000 Avios instead. Well, actually, you are saving a little bit less because you also paid the annual fee of £250. So if we account for that as well, your final saving will be £1,065 by paying 80,000 Avios instead, or effectively that means you are getting £13 in value per every 1,000 Avios. There are also other cash and Avios combinations that you can pick from. For example, you can choose a lower Avios component of 50,000 Avios, but a higher cash component of £850. Now let's take a look at how you can actually take part in this promotion, because when you go to the Amex website, you can't really see it because the Amex website just shows you this card and the regular 25,000 Avios bonus that Amex routinely offers. So what you need to do instead is you need to go to ba.com and you need to log in into your Executive Club account. And if you don't have one, you need to create it. Once you're logged in, go to your account's homepage and then scroll down, and on the left, you should see a banner for this promotion. If you click on the apply button, you're going to be taken to the page where you see the full details of the promotion, and you can apply for either the paid version of the card or the free version of the card, because by the way, on the free version of the card, there is also an increased welcome bonus, and you don't have to pay any annual fees for this card because it's free. So that might also be something to consider if you are not ready yet to commit to a card that costs £250 per year. So as you could see from our example today, booking a reward long-haul flight in your premium cabin can require quite a bit of Avios, especially if you're trying to minimize the amount of cash that you are going to pay. So if you want to earn more Avios beyond what you get as part of the promotion that we discussed today, check out my recent video where I share my 5 favorite ways that you can use to earn Avios quickly and without needing to fly. And yeah, that's all from me for today, and I hope to see you in the next video.